Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 57 based on novel. So let's start. Luofeng was comprehending the 8 tribulations life form, the first tribulation, and was so obsessed with it that he didn't even notice the passage of time. Although he has a great opportunity to face the complete origin of life. But just like the eternal true gods who live next to the ruins of chaos and can observe the materialized laws of chaos, how many of them can comprehend the laws of chaos? I have seen it, but I still don't understand it. There are many ancient beings in the entire origin continent who can directly face the complete origin avenue. They also have inheritance and resource support. But most people never understand it in their lifetime. With the inheritance, it is indeed easier to comprehend. All life has spirituality, and those with strong spirituality are full of infinite possibilities. If you can fully master the spirituality of life, you can even enlighten life. Even stubborn stones, weeds, weapons, and rivers can be awakened, gain consciousness, and become real life. For example, a towering large city. The city is so huge that you need to master the complete origin of life to achieve it. Only by thoroughly sorting out the life structure of the towering city and perfectly integrating it with spirituality can you enlighten a city. The vast rivers, the towering mountains, the powerful corpses can all be transformed into life. Those who have mastered the complete origin of life can enlighten many powerful lives. It is even possible that they will possess the strength of a god-king right after being enlightened. Luofeng was quite shocked by the confidence in the inheritance. Everyone who has mastered the complete origin of the great Tao has incredible methods. Like Morosa, as a boundary beast, after mastering the complete origin of destruction, the boundary in his body can also give birth to a large number of subordinates, and even give birth to combat power at the level of God King. Of course, the more powerful the subordinates, the more difficult it is to breed. For those who master the origin and the origin of life, it is also very difficult to awaken the combat power of the God King level. One enlightenment, sorting out the life structure, granting spirituality, directly reaching the God King's combat power. Luofeng secretly sighed, I have cultivated to this point, but am still not as good as the God King. Those who are enlightened and endowed with spirituality due to external forces and have the combat power of God King level from birth, their comprehension is far inferior to that of normal practitioners. Normally, those who can become God Kings are countless, selected from among the living beings, and have accumulated realms for a long time. Those who directly possessed the power of a God King, their consciousness was not naturally bred, and they had no accumulation. They wanted to comprehend and improve? The possibility was almost zero. My transformation method is based on the Chaos Layer creatures as the prototype, and it is directly transformed. Luofeng thought. And according to the inheritance, the stronger the spirituality of any life, the more extraordinary it is. The appearance of these Chaos Layer creatures does not represent their most perfect form. I can try to increase the spirituality of their lives. The first calamity of 8 calamities life form does not record the method of transformation because this is a special ability that Luofeng has after he has a perfect divine body. This is also an ability bestowed by the supreme rules. With the ability of being invisible and formless, I can better try to study the relationship between the body of life and the spirit of life. The avenue of the origin of life has 6 major branches, and each branch is closely related to each other. For example, if you want to improve your life spirituality, for the same living organism, there is an upper limit to the improvement of life spirituality, and only by changing the life structure can the life spirituality continue. The structure of life is related to the body of life. Brother Luohe. Suddenly Luofeng received a message. During the retreat, Luofeng almost cut off all contact with the outside world. Only Chuyuho and Yuinzu could contact Luofeng. Of course, Morosa could also contact him directly through telepathy. Brother Luohe, you should have checked the guest official mission with the help of the guest official order, right? Chuyuho said. Neither of them is a good mission. Either we have to guard a border city for Wanji, or we have to face some conflicts with the ancient country of Thunder. Luofeng responded. He had just received the inheritance and was in the period of accumulation and improvement, so naturally he was unwilling to get involved. Even though some minor conflicts with the Thunder Ancient Country were conflicts at the Chaos Realm level, the Thunder Ancient Country also had some Chaos Realm transcendent beings. Beings who can reach this level usually cultivate the power of Hunyuan, or use the means of cultivation of Hunyuan materials, which are strange and unpredictable. Luo Feng has no interest in fighting with them. Haha, the best tasks will be taken by the 7 of us first-class marquises first, and only the tasks that no one wants can be viewed through the guest order. Chu Yuho laughed. I just found a good task. If you have no objection, I will give it to you directly, and you can accept it. What good mission? Luo Feng asked. Take on the post of Inspector of Chudu. Chu Yuho said. There are 3 inspectors in Chudu, all of whom are held by Hundun Jinkiking. In fact, the capital of Chu already has its own army. Small troubles can be solved by the army. As for big troubles, the God King will personally take action. There are very few people who can really make the Chaos Realm Patrol take action. Chu Yuho said, the merits of holding this position are much higher than those of guarding the border. 1 century has 1,000 merits, which is the maximum for this position. After holding it for 100 centuries, it must be replaced. 100 centuries of time is equal to 100,000 merits. Practicing in Chudu for 100 centuries is equal to 100,000 merits. This is the task that all the guests in the Chaos Realm want to grab. Chu Yuho said. Luo Feng understood. As the inspector of Chudu, what are your requirements? Merit is hard to earn. Guarding a border city for 10,000 centuries is only 100,000 merits. Patrolling the capital of Chu for 100 centuries is also 100,000 merits. The latter takes less time and is less dangerous. So the latter mission is something that all the guest officials want to grab, but the former mission, they will only accept it when they have no choice. To inspect Chudu, you must live in Chudu. If you need to leave Chudu, you must ask for leave. You cannot leave for a century, which is more than 1,000 days, said Chu Yuho. If you have no objection, I will give you the task. Thank you, Lord Chu Yu. Luo Feng accepted the mission without hesitation. He had just entered the Chaos Realm not long ago, so he didn't want to make any trouble. When your practice reaches a bottleneck, progress becomes difficult, and you need to exchange merit for inheritance resources, it will not be too late to take on dangerous missions. Soon, Luo Feng's guest official order received a task, and Luo he was assigned to take charge. Luo Feng naturally chose to accept it. Time passed, and Luo Feng arrived at the ancient capital of Chu in Yangfeng. Half a century had passed in the blink of an eye. During this period, Luo Feng, as the Chu capital inspector, had only received 1 transfer order, in which he personally took action and captured alive a group of royal children who were fighting each other. Those royal children were all eternal true gods, with strong strength and many treasures. If they really went crazy, it would take the help of the Chaos Realm guest officials. In the capital of Chu, in a pavilion above the clouds, Luo Feng and Yuan Zhu sat opposite each other. This wine is really good. Yuan Zhu was a little surprised, and felt that it had a nourishing effect on both the body and the soul. With just 1 glass of wine, Yuan Zhu felt that his body was nourished and became stronger. This is 100 universe wine. Luo Feng explained with a smile, I heard that it uses the blood of hundreds of Chaos Realm beasts, assisted by some rare treasures of heaven and earth, to finally refine the wine. This pot is 100 universe sands. The original ancestor was surprised. The average eternal true god cannot drink for too long even if he devotes all his wealth to it. The blood of hundreds of Chaos Realm monsters shocked Yuan Zhu. It's nothing. There are many Chaos Realm beasts imprisoned in Chudu. Luo Feng explained, and some ordinary blood is not worth mentioning to Chaos Realm beasts. They will recover naturally by absorbing the power of heaven and earth. Therefore, for merchants, the cost is not high. This pot of wine costs 100 cosmic sands, and the cost is estimated to be only 1 or 2 cosmic sands. However, each pot of wine has a fixed amount of 60 cosmic sands to be given to the first-class Marquis Chu Yinghu. The original ancestor nodded. He knew that every first-class marquis of the Dichu lineage had great power. Luo Feng stood on the side of the first-class marquis Chu Yuho. Brother Chu Yu has only been a first-class marquis for a short time, and his accumulation in all aspects is still much less than that of other first-class marquises. Luo Feng said. Whether in terms of strength or resources and wealth, Chu Yuho is far behind. But the seven have equal status, and Chu Yuho will continue to improve in all aspects. Brother Luo Feng suddenly received a message. There is a good mission, but it requires leaving the city. Oh, what mission? Luo Feng asked. In a century, he could not be away from Chu for more than 1,000 days, so as long as the mission was short, he would still make it in time. I'll send you the task. I think with your ability, you can probably complete it within a few days. Chu Yuho sent a message. Complete this task and you'll get 10,000 credits. I just found out and stopped you. Take a look at this task first. Are you willing to take it? Soon, detailed information of a task was sent over. Luo Feng put down his wine glass and checked the task carefully. In the Qingchong Chaos territory of the Yangfeng ancient country, there is an ordinary city called Jianxu City. This Jianxu City was built specifically for mining Jianxu stone essence, but in the recent chaos eras, the output of Jianxu stone essence has greatly decreased, and even many practitioners responsible for mining have died, and dozens of eternal true gods have died. Suspected that there is a chaos realm being stealing the Jianxu stone essence. The mission is to track down the identity of the illegal miners and receive a reward of 10,000 merits. If the illegal miners are captured alive, an additional 5,000 merits will be rewarded. Trace down the identity of the miners? Luo Feng understood. For the ancient country of Yangfeng, tracing the identity is the most important thing. Once it is found out, arresting it will be relatively easy. Jianxu stone essence is an extremely important cultivation resource of the Yangfeng ancient country, and is almost always used by the god kings. Luo Feng knows that this Jianxu stone essence, due to the special nature of this rare treasure of heaven and earth, the territories of the ancient countries of flame, wind, and thunder are the center of the entire origin continent. Here, there are many more exotic beasts, more practitioners, and more treasures. I'll take this mission. Luo Feng responded. A task that takes a short time and has tens of thousands of merits is indeed rare. I will send you all the information about this mission. Chu Yuho sent it over. By the way, Brother Chu Yu, can you help me find some Chaos Layer creatures with Chaos Realm strength? Luo Feng sent a message. The creatures captured by the Chaos Layer themselves are not considered strong. The strongest ones are those who are born with Chaos Realm strength, and they have long been captured by some ancient beings. Chaos Layer creatures, Chu Yuho had a headache. If it's exotic beasts, the whole world is full of exotic beasts. Chaos Layer exotic beasts, my Yangfeng ancient country has captured a lot of them. It's not difficult to buy a few. But Chaos Layer creatures, and they have to be Chaos Layer creatures, as far as I know, the number is very rare. It is estimated that there are no more than 10 in the entire Yangfeng ancient country, and almost all of them are in the hands of the God King. I don't need a complete organism, I just need some body materials. Luo Feng said. It only requires some body materials, so I can give it a try. Chu Yuho felt that the difficulty was greatly reduced, but it will take some time. I don't even know which god kings have these creatures. This is very important to me. Sorry to bother you, Brother Chu Yu. Luo Feng said. Is it important to you? Chu Yuho was cheered up. His most important helper was in urgent need. Don't worry. It's just some body materials. I will definitely get some for you. Thank you. Luo Feng did not say that he had given cosmic sand. For a first-class marquis, even billions of cosmic sands would not mean much. What he owed was a favor. But for the Chaos Layer creatures who were born with Chaos Realm strength, Luo Feng felt that it was worth it to owe them a favor. That day, Luo Feng quietly left the capital of Chu and headed to Qingchong Chaos State to track down the thieves. In the ancient country of Yangfeng, in the Chaos State of Qingchong, the Chinu mining area outside the Chinu city. A silk thread crossed the vast void and appeared in a wilderness outside the Chinu mining area, and then turned into a figure which was Luo Feng, who came from Chinu. Luo Feng mainly focused on 5 transformation methods. The Galaxy transformation method was good at long-range attacks, and the other 4 transformation methods were integrated into the body and were more suitable for close combat. This thread that shuttled through the void was the escape transformation method, which was good at shuttling through the void and had an extremely fast speed. Whether it was used to escape or fight in close combat, the greatly improved speed of the body movement was of great help and was selected by Luo Feng as one of the 5 transformation methods. The ability to travel is indeed amazing, especially the ability to travel back and forth after the fusion of 100 and 800 billion drops has undergone a qualitative change. It only takes a little over an hour to get from Chengdu to Qingchong Chaos Province. After the spiritual power of life is improved, the power of this escape and transformation method is indeed greatly enhanced. Luo Feng was quite satisfied, and then looked at the Chinu mining area ahead. The Chinu mining area covers a very large area, much larger than Huyang City. Luo Feng looked at it. It is also covered by a formation, so it is extremely difficult to mine illegally. The illegal miners are either from within the management, or they are very sophisticated. Luo Feng learned the detailed information of this mission from Di Chuyu and knew the troubles of the mission. The highest manager of Chinu mining area is also the guardian of Chinu City, and he is also a top existence in Chaos Realm. The guardian of Chinu City couldn't find out the identity of the illegal miners. Because the management could not find out, the Emperor Chu lineage finally issued this task. The ancient God King, the Chaos Realm transcendent being, would not shamelessly steal this little bit of Chinu stone essence. So in Di Chuyu's opinion, there was no danger for Luo He to go and investigate. Let's get started. Luo Feng already had his own solution. He stood in the wilderness outside the Chinu mining area, and countless silver streams immediately flowed into the earth from his body. These silver streams quickly became very thin, so thin that ordinary true gods could not see them with their naked eyes. Countless silk threads spread rapidly, penetrating deep into the earth and surrounding the entire Chinu mining area. The diameter of the Chinu mining area is about 800 billion kilometers. My galaxy transformation method can still easily surround it. Luo Feng was quite satisfied. He differentiated out 1 billion units of galaxies. These countless galaxies were intertwined, like a dragnet, completely surrounding and blocking the entire mining area. When they were completely surrounded, Luo Feng could also sense the purpose of the formation in the Chinu mining area. Formation, blocking and tracking the enemy is only one aspect. The more important thing is to guide the power of heaven and earth together, so that the entire mining area can breed Chinu stone essence faster. Luo Feng could feel a large amount of power of heaven and earth being guided and gathered. The homeland of Yangfeng was originally the core of the origin continent, so it could naturally breed a large number of treasures. Under the guidance of the formation, the breeding speed of Chinu stone essence could also be accelerated. After Luo Feng quietly approached the Chinu mining area, he used the transformation method to turn into a wisp of wind and naturally attached himself to a miner. Many miners had to travel frequently between Chinu City and the mining area. The depths of the mining area are dark and unpredictable. In the Fenyuki mining area, underground, I heard that a pair of miners who were inside last time all died. A group of miners who were on the march were all a little nervous. The mining area was very safe in the past, but in recent centuries, a lot of miners have died. Even many eternal true gods have died. We true gods don't even have the qualifications to resist. Hope I'll have better luck this time. This group of miners and practitioners comforted each other and went deeper and deeper. Under the cover of the mining area formation, they couldn't even be lazy. We're here, Fengyu District 7. Start working, the captain ordered. Fengyu District 7 is considered to be an extremely deep area at the bottom, more than 300 billion kilometers from the surface. The miners used their secret techniques, and suddenly rays of light lit up, illuminating the ancient mine tunnels in Fengyu District 7. They began to use their secret tools to crush the surrounding sand and gravel. After crushing a large amount of sand and gravel, they carefully selected the Chinu stone essence particles from them. Chinu stone essence, even the true gods need to look carefully to see the extremely tiny particles. A team worked hard for a century, and after gathering together countless particles for refining, they could generally refine 1 or 2 standard Chinu stone essence. The amount of Chinu stone essence produced in the mining area is getting less and less, and the higher-ups blame us for not being careful enough. I think this Chinu stone essence might have been stolen in advance. The miners chatted with each other while crushing the ore again and again, carefully looking for tiny particles. It was very close to them at this time. There is a huge phantom that penetrates into countless ores, slowly seeping in them and screening out tiny particles from them. The miners would hand over the particles they screened each time, but the amount was small and not worth plundering at all. Therefore, it can only work hard and mine illegally on its own. With its strength, it can naturally mine illegally much faster than these miners. Boom! The captain of the miners used a secret treasure to blast away a large amount of rock so that the miners could slowly grind and sift it. Blasting rocks requires planning, otherwise the underground mine tunnel will collapse. This blasting task is also completed by the team leader. Boom! When a large amount of rocks collapsed, a huge shadow suddenly appeared. Not good. The leader of the miners was shocked, and the faces of the other miners around him changed drastically. Seek help. Help! They called for help one by one through the subpoena. There are countless mine tunnels everywhere, and the old man forced me to mine quickly. If I'm not careful, I'll be discovered. The huge shadow was quite impatient, and a force burst out directly, sweeping towards the miners. The miners showed a look of fear, only to see the shadow spreading over them in an instant. Call out! A black man appeared out of nowhere in front of the miners. The clothes on his body turned into countless black liquids flowing. These black liquids naturally penetrated into the rocks and instantly enveloped the huge phantom. How daring! They have been stealing and mining all this time. Luo Feng looked at the huge shadow that was shrouded in darkness. What Luo Feng was most worried about when he came to carry out the mission this time was that the illegal miners only mined occasionally. If I am not in the mining area in the near future, it will be difficult for me to complete the task. However, according to speculation, it is very troublesome to mine Chinu stone essence, and it takes a long time to mine it to accumulate enough. The probability of encountering it while mining is still relatively high. A newcomer from the Chaos Realm? The huge phantom was shocked. Call! Without a sound or a trace, the shadow disappeared immediately. Countless black liquids melted into his robes. Luo Feng frowned slightly, and in a flash, the galaxy transformation technique that had already formed a net of heaven and earth exploded in an instant, completely isolating the inside and outside. Buzz! A huge silver cage appeared completely, with terrifying power, sealing off the entire Chinu mining area. At this moment, waves are escaping in all directions, trying to travel through the void, but this area has been sealed off. At least its escapability is not enough to break through this net. Want to escape? Luo Feng stood in place, and naturally countless galactic threads penetrated the Earth, covering it with that wave. Before, it was a billion units of galaxy, and it was blocked by a dragnet. Now there is no cover at all, and there are 2 billion units of galactic threads, densely spread throughout the entire web of heaven and earth, leaving the miners nowhere to escape. Break it for me. One wave after another, some hit the countless silver lights in the sky, and some hit the countless silver lights underground. After comprehending the first calamity of the 8 calamities life form, Luo Feng's 5 transformation methods improved his life and spirituality, and his power was also improved. Now the net of heaven and earth, the phantom can't escape at all. Tear, break. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Countless silver threads crisscrossed the sky and earth, enveloping waves one after another. Every time they enveloped a wave, it would be annihilated. In the end, only one wave remained. Luo Feng took a step and appeared in the sky, looking at the wave wrapped in silver light. Mercy, mercy, mercy. This wave of energy transformed into a grey furry beast, which saluted with great respect, meeting this great sage of chaos. Luo Feng looked at this strange beast. This beast is from the chaos realm, but beasts that don't understand the essence of the law are generally much weaker than those from the chaos realm. I guess this chaos realm beast is just an ordinary chaos realm beast, and I conceal him with a random stream of Milky Way light. How dare you steal the essence of Qianxu stone? Luo Feng looked at him. Guest from Luoha. The furry beast suddenly made a strange sound. This fellow I raised was greedy and ate some Qianxu stone essence. Please don't blame me. Luo Feng's expression changed slightly. I will make him leave immediately, and you can just pretend that you didn't catch the miner, okay, said the strange voice. I have been ordered to track down the illegal miners. Now that I have verified their identities, I naturally have to report to them. Luo Feng said. Do you have to be my enemy? Said the strange voice. Luo Feng also had a headache. This video will end here.